Sir Keir Starmer has urged today English people to reclaim St George's flag from those who seek to sow division, which is being seen as an attack on those who took... Well, I mean, he's also talking about how... talking about the Southport riots as well, talking about how we need to wrench the flag out of the hands of those who seek to divide. Well, this is Good Afternoon Britain on GB News, and there's plenty more coming up on today's programme, but that's after, of course, we speak to political commentator Aman Bhogal on this peculiar speech from... Oh, Aman, I can't continue my sentence anymore. What a marvellous background you have there. All props to you.
It has to be, Tom. Tom, thank you for having me on the show. Tom and Emily, good afternoon. Well, look, first of all, happy St George's Day to all GB News viewers. But look, this flag behind me, Tom and Emily, this is my flag. This is your flag. You know, this is our flag. And it is under this cross of St George that, you know, we are united and to proudly call this great civilizational nation our home. And, you know, we should be proud of this England of ours, this green and pleasant land. This, you know, this is the land of the inventors and the innovators. And we don't need any more division being peddled by the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, who is not... I think he's trying to reassign this great flag of ours away from the common man and woman by, you know, politicising it on a day like this.
I mean, he would say that he's trying to do exactly the opposite, and that he's trying to sow unity rather than division and make sure that it's not just the far-right thugs who own this flag. What would you say to that?
Well, look, this flag unites us together to call this place home because it is not the flag of the far-right thugs. It's not the flag of the far-left thugs. Well, certainly not them. It is the flag of every common man and woman who is proud to call this land home. So I don't think any Prime Minister needs to sort of reaffirm that. On the contrary, he should be telling us, not just on St George's Day, he should be telling us every single day of the year that, you know, we should be flying our national flag, the Union flag, from all schools. Certainly, I think the flag of England should be flying from all schools and public buildings in England, and likewise in Scotland and in Wales and in Northern Ireland.
It is interesting, isn't it? In Scotland, you do see the saltire absolutely everywhere, and lots of places the saltire and the Union flag. And in England, you don't generally see the combination of the England flag and the Union flag.
Exactly. And I think, you know what, the average common man and woman has not given up on this flag. In fact, I would argue that certainly over the last 20-odd years, you know, the elite establishment has demonized the sight of this very flag. That in fact, you know, look, whenever we hear about the flag of England, we always hear this, oh, you know, football laps, or this is the far right's carrying it. No, the fact is, the very fact is, the elite establishment and the establishment media, they are the ones who have demonized this great flag of ours. I mean, come on, this is a flag.
I just don't see why he couldn't have just said, you know, Happy St George's Day and reminded us of a few reasons why we are proud of this country. I mean, it's would have been so hard. Also, he managed to get in that he was chief prosecutor.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
That's
he
the first
managed
time
to get
I've heard
that in.
Right. A very happy St George's Day to you, a time when England proudly celebrates its legendary dragon-slaying patron saint.
Yes, despite never setting foot in England, he became a national symbol in the 14th century when King Edward III named him as a patron of the Order of the Garter.
Well, just how are Brits up and down the country marking this special day? To find out, let's go to Ben Leo in Dartford and Jack Carson in Nottingham and Steve Bennett in Saltney in Wales. Ben, we're going to start with you. It sounds loud where you are.
Yeah, the energy is absolutely pumping here in Dartford. I can just about hear you, so apologies if you can't quite hear me. But as you can see behind me, bands playing, the St George's flag flying high, and the High Street. Isn't it nice for once to see a High Street draped with the flag of our great nation? I'm here with Jeff Moore, who's been a veteran somewhat of the St George's Day Parade here in Dartford for the past, what, Jeff, 10 years?
Well over 10 years now.
And you're a band player. I saw you playing a bit earlier.
Yeah.
You were playing Paramore, which for viewers at home who aren't aware of Paramore, just explain who they are.
Maybe a slightly younger audience, but from the 2000s. But we cover everything from Paramore David Guetta, Take On Me, By Ha, everything that everybody would love.
And just tell us what we can expect today at the parade. It's kicking off in, what, about 25 minutes?
Yeah.
And how's it changed here over the past 10 years from what you've seen?
It's just got bigger and bigger every year. More and more children, more and more acts. It's such a buzz around the town. It's such a fantastic experience.
And tell me, Jeff, why is it so important for St George's Day to be recognised like this? Because there is this narrative creeping in, I guess, that, you know, English culture's under attack or it's eroding away somewhat. How important is it to recognise our cultural heritage?
I think it's huge. Every country I know, we travel the world doing various events, and everyone celebrates their national day. For me personally, I'm ex-military, and it was my regimental day as well. So it gets the community together, celebrates being British. It's fantastic.
Good man. Well, thank you for your Paramore tunes. I personally appreciated them very much. But look, in about 20 minutes, Tom, Emily, and the viewers back home, the parade here in Dartford will kick off. There's fire-breathing dragons. There is St George himself somewhere. He was spotted. If you were tuned in earlier this morning, I had a chat with St George, and interestingly, a duck, a pet duck called Dog. So I'll see if we can retrieve those guys for you again, and we'll come back to you when the parade kicks off.
Oh, yes, please.
Fantastic. I cannot wait to see the duck called Dog. Not the dog called Duck, the duck called Dog. Fantastic stuff, Ben Leo.
And it looks like for now it is staying dry in Dartford, which is excellent. Let's go over to Nottingham and speak to Jack Carson, our reporter there. Jack, you're standing by the flag. What's going on in Nottingham?
Well, we're having a bit of a party here in Nottingham to celebrate St George's Day today. This morning we were on the main market square. Of course, we've got this 60-foot wide England flag put on the council building. But this is where the real celebrations are going on. You can see here lots of people outside enjoying the sunny weather. Who'd have thought that sunshine on St George's Day? Sunny weather, lots of people enjoying a drink. Now let's speak to the people that have done by the Royal Society of St George, their Radford branch. Steve Buxton, who's their chairman. Steve, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Stuart, thanks for joining us this afternoon on GB News. I mean, what is St George's Day for you all about?
Pride of our history, honourable pride of everything about what England's achieved in the past. All the good things, by the way. I know we've done some bad things, but mainly good things. And look around you and see not just me, but most people from Nottingham. You know, we've got a royal heritage in Nottingham, with Nottingham Castle and our connection to royalty. So yeah.
Tell us about the event that's going on. You've organised all of this. There's so many people out here enjoying it and coming to celebrate the day of our patron saint.
Yes, well, inside we've got thanks to Jay and all the bar staff here, and Jay and Ray, the people who run this place, and decorated it on their own, by the way. They let us do our own disco, we do our own thing, we do raffles, raising money for future parades, and just basically making sure everyone enjoys themselves and celebrates what we're all about, and proud to be English.
And that's a big part of today, raising money for a future parade. So this used to be something which went on in Nottingham, which you were kind of organisers for, and I guess it's raising money now to bring that back and have the whole city be able to celebrate with a big parade and celebrate St George that way.
That's right, yeah. We finished a few years ago, mainly down to financial reasons, and what we are doing now, we're looking at a future event, i.e. the big parade from the Forest Recreation Ground in Nottingham, all the way into the city centre. We plan to do that in 2027. It will be a Friday, so we've got more chance of people turning up, and the cost has gone up quite a lot.
All right, Stuart, thank you so much for joining us and giving us, just what St George's Day means for him. And you can see here lots of people enjoying him in those high spirits.
Fantastic stuff. Jack Carson there in Nottingham. Shall we speak to Steve Bennett, who's actually in Saltney in Wales? Now, Steve, explain to our viewers and listeners, why are you in Wales on St George's Day?
Exactly. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you both. Yes, the Saltney is considered the most English town in Britain. 12,000 residents between Broughton and Saltney here on the border of England and Wales, and 4,500 of those residents consider themselves to be English. So it is considered a very English town. Now, earlier on, we spoke to some of the local residents, and here's exactly what they told us. Areas considered more English than Welsh. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I suppose it's a mixture, really. I would say it's probably 50-50. But, well, I'm Welsh, so, yeah, I come down on the Welsh side.
I agree. Yes, it is. I think it's more further up the coast in North Wales, round Bala and all, it's more Welsh, I would say, yes. I mean, we're only just over the border here. I mean, I come from Liverpool originally, so yes.
And would you say that your friends and family are the same? Would they consider themselves more English than Welsh?
I would say so, yes.
I think it's mixed, definitely.
And do you think that's because it's so close to the border?
Yes, definitely, yes.
I would say it's Wales. I live in Wales. I'm born and raised in Wales. I live 10 minutes up the road. Yeah, and all the houses we sell, they all, and the ones that we let, they all follow Welsh legislation. So, yeah, I would say more Welsh than English.
So the locals very split on whether they're English or whether they're Welsh, and the road we're on currently, this is Boundary Lane, and that side of the road is England. Those houses, they pay a different rate of rent and tax, and we come across to the other side. This side is actually Wales. If you're renting a house on this side, completely different fees apply. So according to census, 38.9% of the population of this small town consider themselves to be English, and as you heard there, very much a mixed view from the locals. Some do, some don't. But we have driven around this small village today and we haven't actually seen a single St George's flag. There isn't a lot going on, but the views of the locals, as you heard there.
That's very interesting to see just one street, one side in Wales, one side in England. Thank you very much indeed, Steve Bennett in Saltney in Wales.